Hello, everybody. We are going to dive into the Mindful Masterclass. Let me share my screen. All right. And we'll start with a little bit of a summary. So I'm going to start with some, just by introducing myself and giving you some foundational theory on mindfulness, which is kind of my own take on what the power of mindfulness is all about. And then going to lead you through some exercises and then have a short Q&A after that. And then we're going to shift from a generic mindfulness practice. And the second half of the talk is going to talk about how to direct the power of mindfulness into very specific areas of your life so that you can create targeted, precise behavioral change. And then we're going to do exercises for that as well, followed by a final Q&A. As Bet mentioned, I've been a mindfulness-based performance coach for 10 years. I've logged about 4,000 hours in one-on-one coaching sessions. And I'd say one of the things that I'm most proud of is the progress that I've made in substantially reducing symptoms of chronic pain through a holistic approach that has been centered around mindfulness. So for my very first job, I got a job trading stock options on Wall Street during the financial crisis. I was very stressed out. I had about 7 computer screens in front of me with over 150 different stocks. The markets were obviously going nuts. I was 22, 23, 24 years old right out of college. And about 12 months into my time on Wall Street, my ability to sleep at night deteriorated dramatically. And if any of you have had experience with difficulty sleeping at night, you know that it can basically be lighter fluid for anxiety, right? It makes the inflammation in your body that's, in my opinion, causing the anxiety to begin with even worse. So it just turns into this kind of cycle, or it turned into this cycle. So I went to this meditation center actually in Chelsea, and they taught me to follow my breath. And I didn't really know what was supposed to be happening. So I didn't feel the change that I was looking for. And in some cases, learning to practice mindfulness without a proper foundation made me even more internal. I would notice that I would get bored. I would beat myself up for having a wandering mind. Most of the people that I share those trials with note that it sounds very familiar to what they've experienced, that many people find mindfulness like questioning, is this working? Am I doing it right? And I'm here to tell you that there is a way to practice mindfulness in an incorrect way, in an ineffective way, in an inappropriate way. And there's actually a way to engage with a sincere, daily, regular mindfulness practice in a way where you can have the confidence to know that you're doing it right, and that you're doing it in a way that it was intended to bring the positive changes in your life that you're looking for. Finally, I found a new teacher, one that I really resonated with, and he gave me the download. He taught me that the secret to properly implementing principles of mindfulness into your life is all centered around the relaxation response, progressive relaxation. He taught me the body scan meditation that we are going to actually practice today. And he taught me to turn the ability to relax into a sport, into a form of fitness, into a game. And as an ex-weightlifter and a jogger, I immediately took to, okay, I'm not trying to get bigger or leaner with this particular practice. I'm trying to get more relaxed physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so the light went on. The light went on within a week or two of working with this man. And my goal is for the light to go on for all of you today in the next 75 minutes. About 10 months, just under a year after I initially learned how to activate mindful awareness, I was in England, and one morning I said, you know what? I love meditating so much. I love how it makes me feel. I love the positive changes that I see happening in my life. I'm going to spend 90 minutes this morning. I'm going to stretch, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to be sincerely focused on going as deep into my body as I possibly can. And after well over an hour, at one point I relaxed so deeply that I felt excruciating pain in my pelvic floor, in an area that I would later identify as my prostate, as well as in my lower back. And I had never felt this pain before. Immediately, I knew that it had been around for quite some time. As soon as I discovered it, I realized that in the days that followed, I started to keep a close eye on it. And I noticed that whenever I got stressed out or anxious, my pain would flare up. And whenever my pain would flare up, I would get stressed out and anxious. So I had uncovered the roots of the torrential anxiety that I had been experiencing since, frankly, the age of 9 years old. As soon as I was old enough to become self-conscious, to become aware that there's a society out there and I needed to try to protect myself from it, or to try to put my best foot forward. And so I embarked on this journey, this mission to heal myself. I didn't want to get surgery or take medication. I wanted to do it naturally. And naively, I figured after a couple of weeks of mindfulness every day and maybe a chiropractic adjustment or two, that my pain would be gone. And it has taken me almost 11 years to get to where I am today, which is symptom reduction of probably 95%. And I've noticed that as I've gotten healthier and healthier, my ability to be effective, present, relaxed, trusting, and perform all the areas of my life, all the roles that I have, has improved dramatically. And that's what today is about. I realized that it was more about becoming the best version of myself that I could possibly be, rather than simply just making the pain go away. And so I underwent a period of intensive training, and obviously I'm still continuing in that, but a lot of the education that I've gone through, I'd say the vast majority of that is over. I have a core philosophy, I have a core system. Of course, every day I'm adding to it, but there is a philosophy here that I'm going to share with you today. I became a yoga instructor. I studied emotional freedom technique, or tapping, which has helped thousands, if not millions, of people with panic attacks, depression, anxiety, insomnia. I studied nutrition and high phytochemical diets, Chinese medicine and medical qigong, hypnosis and the power of the mind and its ability to affect the physical material world. And I noticed at the center of all of these modalities was the relaxation response. Because I had been the one to discover my pain through mindfulness, through directing my attention into my own body, I was immediately aware that my self-induced tension, the inflammation of my body, my fear, was perpetuating my pain. I could tell that I was creating it myself, as well as it was a result of patterns that had been passed down through my family for generations. My father had prostate cancer in 2005, and he died of liver cancer in 2015, which only added more fuel to the fire of my mission of healing myself through natural means. And so over the course of the last 12 years, I've compiled some essential wisdom that I think is crucial for anybody who truly wants to make the most out of a mindfulness practice and all of the transformational benefits that it has to offer. And so we begin by the principles of presence. You have three various layers to yourself: the physical, the emotional, and the mental. And they are interconnected, inextricably so. Whenever you're stressed out, overwhelmed, anxious, not present, your physical body is tense. And this tension blocks your emotion and creates cloudy, racing thoughts. It makes it difficult for you to think straight and to focus your mind. And when you're present, the opposite is true. When you're present, your physical body is exquisitely relaxed. Your emotions are fluid and flowing. You can both express them fully, be moved by them, and there's also this inherent stability. And your mind, your thoughts are clear, crystallized, centered, solution-oriented. And so these are the three components of presence, the three realms. There are many qualities and characteristics. I'll go into that. But physical relaxation, emotional stability, mental clarity, you cannot separate one from the others. Whenever you think a negative thought or feel an uncomfortable feeling, sadness, anger, depression, anxiety, these arise because your body's tense, creating murky, muddy water, so to speak. And when you're thinking positive thoughts, when you're feeling empowering emotions, these are arising because your body's relaxed enough to allow these feelings to flow through you. So progressive relaxation through mindful awareness reduces our capacity to be negative, pessimistic, cynical, helpless. And it strengthens our ability to be positive, to identify what it is that we desire to achieve and to make happen, and to identify ways to make these dreams a reality. And so I've coined this phrase that I call energetic fitness. Strength training gives you bigger muscles, cardiovascular exercise gives you leaner muscles, and energetic fitness gives you more relaxed muscles. And there are many different forms of energetic fitness: meditation, yoga, massage, acupuncture, acupressure. Many of them came out of Asia thousands of years ago. Others, such as somatic psychotherapy, are much more modern. But they all share this relaxation response at their very center. And so we're going to shift into the exercise portion of this half. As you can probably tell, I like to keep things simple and basic and direct. We're going to do 3 exercises. The first is called the peak state elicitation. We're going to have you all close your eyes in a second and recall memories where you felt present. And that feeling of being present, all of the qualities that come with it is going to arise. Next, we'll do the body scan, and we're going to do these back to back. It'll take about 10 minutes total. The body scan is one of the classic ways to practice progressive relaxation. And then the resets. If there's anything that you take away from today, take away the body scan and the resets. Every single meditation technique out there is based off of the resets. There is a core way to, from a position of stillness, activate mindful awareness. And that's what you're going to learn in the next 10 minutes. So the state of presence has very distinct characteristics. Your muscles are relaxed. It's easy to breathe. Your mind is clear. And you've probably felt this way before, perhaps many times. And we're going to have you focus on memories that reconnect you and regenerate the state. So go ahead and close your eyes. And recall a time in your life when you felt present. Recall a time when you felt the way that you would like to feel, more or less all of the time. When you felt confident and empowered, energized and calm, connected to yourself and the world around you. And go to the moment of the memory that sticks out, where you felt the best. What do you notice? What do you feel happening inside of your body? What do you sense? Many people notice that their experience slows down, that it becomes easier to breathe. That they connect with the very core of themselves on a physical, palpable level. So notice your stomach, notice your heart, make the memory as vivid as possible. And see now what you saw then in your mind's eye. Feel now what you felt then. Make it real. And when you've let this experience of presence, this clarity, this ease, this connectedness get as strong as possible, when you've surrendered to the feeling, the healthy, pleasurable feeling of presence, let's begin to scan your body. Keep your eyes closed and just feel your face. And allow your face to relax. Feel your jaw and your neck. Feel the tops of your shoulders. and your arms. Feel your wrists and your hands. Feel your body. Notice how your chest expands and contracts with your breath. Feel your belly as breath comes in and out. Feel your back muscles and just let them thaw. Let them melt. And then feel your hips and your pelvis, your seat. Feel your quads and your hamstrings, your knees and your shins. Your ankles and your feet. And then let your entire body relax all at once. This is the reset now. Let your entire body relax. So you don't know what's going to relax next. All you know is that something is going to relax. Focus your mind on the sensations, on the tension and relaxation in your body. And every minute or so, you'll probably become aware of some tension that you didn't even realize that you had. And in a second, I'll be quiet and I'll reset with you. And again, the instruction is to focus on feeling your body. Where are you tense? And then can you allow at least a little bit of tension to relax? So here we go. And once you've let yourself relax as deeply as possible, revisit the memory one more time. Put yourself back in the memory. Maybe you're on vacation or out in nature, and just see if you have a deeper connection and sense of resonance with that state of mind and body. Can you feel the link between physical relaxation and presence of mind? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So feel free to type your questions into chat. There is a good amount of information to get to today, but I definitely would like to answer people's questions. Okay, the first question is there a tape of someone walking you through this? That's a phenomenal question. Yes, if you Google body scan audio or body scan meditation track, then you can find plenty of audios of someone's voice walking you through doing what I just walked you through with the body scan. In my opinion, that is the best way to get started with an effective mindfulness practice. It's much, because following the breath, like I mentioned, there's this delusion that your mind should be still, right? That your mind shouldn't wander because your breathing is this stimulus that's always here. And it just makes it a little bit rigid if you're new to the practice. But the body scan, if someone's walking through your body and your mind wanders and then you come back, you're like, okay, fine, great. I lost them at my hands, but I picked them back up at my chest. So I'm gonna just come back and resume. So yes, I'm really glad you asked that question. Yes, that is what I recommend to get started, and you can lie down if you want. You don't have to sit in the lotus position with your legs crossed or whatever. In fact, in Chinese medicine, they're not a big fan of cross-legged because they say that it blocks the circulation to your feet, and I agree with that. In the traditions based out of India, there's a little bit more, crossing the legs, and I come from more of the Chinese medicine tradition. So, another question is breathing part of progressive muscle relaxation? When you're scanning your body, I wouldn't manipulate your breath. Because that's multitasking. When you're scanning your body, I wouldn't manipulate your breath at all. There's a saying by a man named Goenka, who's very important in the meditation world. If your breathing is shallow, let it be shallow. If it's deep, let it be deep. That's during the body scan. It's also referred to as insight meditation or vipassana practice. So I wouldn't manipulate your breath there. There are plenty of other practices, taking deep breaths, doing breath work in general, which is also referred to as pranayama, where the point is to manipulate your breath. And I think it's important to have mindfulness practices where you do not manipulate your breath at all, and then where you actually do. But make sure that there's separation there. Make sure that you're not multitasking, that you're not combining more than one technique at a time. Great question. Any other questions? All right, can I have a thumbs up if you understand how to reset? And if you do not understand how to reset, how to activate mindful awareness, please post in the chats. All right. Seeing some thumbs ups. Okay, cool. Again, the instruction is to be still and to direct your awareness into your body and allow your body to progressively relax deeper and deeper and deeper. And every time that you notice that some tension started to melt away, that's a sign that you're becoming more present. Don't force yourself to relax. Don't be too goal-oriented about it, but you can receive some benefit, some confidence that when you feel tension relax, you're on the right track. You're headed in the direction where you're here to go. Okay. So back to our friend, Mr. Will Ferrell here. Since we answered all of our questions, I love this slide. So let's talk about your subconscious mind. In order to truly engage in deep personal behavioral change, you must connect with your subconscious mind. And I'll explain why there's oranges at the bottom in a second. Your subconscious mind is your body and how your body responds to where you put your attention. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between your imagination and the real physical world. And this is actually a concept that we can leverage. Because when you change how you feel to the visualization of a scenario, you will then change, and you are changing how you will respond to the actual physical situation itself. So to give you an idea of what your subconscious mind is and how you experience it, close your eyes and imagine that you're biting into your favorite piece of fruit. Something juicy, like an orange. Could be chocolate if that's where you are right now. That's what you want. But go ahead and imagine it and make it so real that you start to salivate. Make it so real that your salivary glands start to produce saliva. And once you salivate, you can open your eyes, give us a thumbs up. So that is your subconscious mind. And so now let's talk about the two magic ingredients to reduce your performance anxiety before you actually face the situation. And before I do this, just consider for a second if you had this power. Consider how it would be to have the ability to reduce your stress and anxiety about a situation in your life before you actually faced it. How would your life be different? Every time it was time for you to speak in public or to do anything that was stressful in the past, a difficult conversation, even something more positive, such as pursue a goal, you would be able to systematically and methodically make yourself more present before the situation even happened. So as you're probably imagining, you can relate this power to just about anything. Phobias occupational stress, relationship issues, money, performance, public speaking. The list is literally endless. And so the first ingredient is exposure. It's crucial to expose your nervous system to whatever stimulus you are tensing yourself up in response to. And you can expose your system to the stimulus in the physical world. Maybe you have a spider in a cage and you bring it close enough to you to see it. And you slowly bring the spider closer. Maybe you do imagination and visualization, which is what we're going to do today. Or maybe you do what this guy's doing and slap on some virtual reality goggles and really give your nervous system a ride. And here it's essential to discuss, to get the point across, that the stimulus is not making you feel a certain way. Nothing can make you feel a particular way. It can impact you, but it cannot control you. When you're having a neurological response that affects you emotionally, mentally, physically, that is something that your brain is doing to your body. So gently, safely exposing your system to the stimulus gives you the time and space to make a new choice, to become aware of just how painful whatever you've been doing is and how unnecessary. How whatever you were trying to accomplish, protect yourself is usually kind of top of the list. To be safe, to avoid, to be in control of. Whatever your system was trying to accomplish by tensing yourself up is ultimately dysfunctional. And maybe a gentler way to say it is just suboptimal. But dysfunctional in terms of like, this isn't working. I'm not getting my needs met. I'm not performing and showing up in this situation as best as I can. And this takes us to the second ingredient, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the relaxation response. Right? Your sympathetic nervous system is responsible for fight or flight. The parasympathetic is responsible for the relaxation response. And I truly believe that to really become healthy requires us to become better at being able to generate the relaxation response. The good news is that you already know how to do that. That's what the entire first half of today was about. And the second half is about combining visualization with relaxation. So we learned a general mindfulness technique, the reset, the body scan. And now it's time to get specific. Now it's time to learn how to direct the power of presence into very specific behavioral patterns or triggers that you've been having, so that you can stop blaming the outside world for how you're reacting, and so that you can actually change and grow and open. And again, the point is to reduce your anxiety and stress before the situation presents itself. You don't want to be speaking in public and then have to sit there and micromanage your level of relaxation, right? You want to just be there already, relaxed, open. And on some level, you could say that all anxiety is performance anxiety, right? All anxiety is, how am I doing? I'm trying to do my best. I'm nervous and stressed because I'm afraid I'm not going to be doing my best, which then could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Before you do this work, before you learn how to access a deeper state of relaxation relative to a situation, you're exerting more effort than you need to be exerting. Your brain is telling your body to tense up, and that's draining your energy. And you're not doing as well as you could possibly be doing. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a double whammy. One is you're working harder than you need to be working, much, much harder. And two is because you're working so hard, because you're conflicted, because I think stress and anxiety are a sign of inner conflict. Presence is when we are completely aligned. Stress, fear, anxiety comes when part of us doesn't really want to be there right now or face whatever it is that we're trying to face. And when you unwind your fear, you're congruent, you're solid, you're aligned. Everything is flowing in the same direction. So give me a thumbs up if you would like more ease, if you'd like your life to be easier, and you would like to do better. You'd like to perform at a higher level. And that's kind of a softball. As soon as it came out of my mouth, realize that. So let's do it. Go ahead and close your eyes and pick a situation in your life that you feel stress around. Pick a situation that is challenging. And as long as you feel safe confronting it, the more challenging, the better. And make it real, really put yourself there. And it's less about seeing every single detail of the situation, and it's more about eliciting a bodily response, just like you already did with the orange, with the fruit. So put yourself in the situation and then reset. I'll guide you through it. Feel your face. Let your face relax. Feel your shoulders. Let your shoulders relax. Feel your arms as you're facing this situation. Let your arms relax. Feel your chest and your stomach. And let your chest and your stomach relax. Feel your back and the muscles in your back. And let your back muscles relax. Feel your hips and your pelvis and your legs. And let them relax. Whenever your mind wanders, just notice it. It's not a big deal. And then return to the process of imagining that you are facing this situation. Make it real. And your goal is to find tension in your body that you didn't even realize was there. And to let it go. So this is the same as stretching. This is the same as massage. Your goal is the same. Your goal is to relax progressively. And just know that you are digging deeper and getting to the root of what had you feeling this way. Because whenever you're stressed or anxious, you're tense. And so you're doing the opposite. You're relaxing. And go ahead and can you identify any feelings arising relative to the situation? Stress, anxiety, worry, fear. And just let them come up, accept them, welcome them. Let them flow through your body. Stop trying to use physical tension as armor. And just let your guard down and let yourself feel them. And relax. And keep going. Keep letting your awareness drop more and more deeply into your body. And let it drop into the center. Really feel your core near the navel, the belly button. Feel your heart. Make the situation real and relax. Make it real and relax. And if it's a challenging conversation, just imagine that you're talking to the person. Imagine that you are talking to the person right now. If you're speaking in public, imagine that you're on stage speaking in public. Relax. And then Identify one feeling you would love to feel. What is one feeling you would love to feel during this situation? Peace, inner strength, focus, confidence. Relax and let this feeling come into your body. Now I'm going to join you. And now, identify your ideal outcome. What's your goal? What's the best possible thing that could happen in this situation? And go beyond what seems rational and go into the ideal. What happens? And then allow that movie to play. Allow your body to relax so that this priceless solution can start to be born into the world through the cells of your body. And when you've relaxed your body as deeply as you possibly can relative to the situation, you can slowly begin to open your eyes. Noticing how similar you feel to your memory of being present. Okay. So let's come on back. So I have never done some of this work right? Where we visualize and relax without feeling some sort of change. Meaning every time I do it, I have noticed a change. Could be subtle. I could be misremembering, which seems unlikely, but it's possible. I could have rose-colored glasses when it comes to behavioral change technology and work like this. Yet, to the best of my knowledge and memory, every time I visualize a scenario and I relax, and then I go and face it, I notice a difference. Doesn't mean I'm free of anxiety in that situation, or have been rather, but it's better. And in computer science, they call this TOTE, T-O-T-E, test, operate, test, exit. Test, operate, test, exit. That's the bottom left graphic. And this is really important in behavioral change. So let's say you have public speaking anxiety. So testing it would mean you go out on stage and you see what happens, right? And let's say you get nervous, your mouth gets dry, you feel fear, your heart's pounding in your chest. So then afterwards you're like, okay, I want it to be a lot easier and I want to do a heck of a lot better next time. And you saw this mindful masterclass or whatever. And so you go to operate. And operate is what we just did. Operate is where the computer scientist goes and fixes the code, the computer programmer. So you change around the code, right? You visualize the situation, you relax, you change your state as much as you can. And then you test it again. And you go out on stage and you speak in public and you notice, wow, like I felt different. I still felt nervous, but it was less. It was reduced. But there is still plenty more anxiety that I'd like to work on. So then you do it again. Boom. Okay, operate. Close your eyes, visualize, relax. Somatic psychotherapy is another great way to do this. I'm a big believer in somatic psychotherapy. You and the therapist pick something to work on and you talk through it. And as you're talking through it, all of your beliefs and tension and fear comes to the surface, and then you start to relax and let it go.
Oh, my baby.
Somebody has their, please mute yourself. Relax. Yeah, so then you relax. And then you go back and you test it again until it's where you'd like it to be. Until it's where you'd like it to be. So that is TOTE. That's test, operate, test, exit. And then there's this concept of Eustress, which was the object of a study by Hans Selye, S-E-L-Y-E. And he talked about the healthy nature of some stress. So eustress is his word for healthy stress. Distress is unhealthy stress. So eustress is like getting up on stage and speaking in front of people, even when you're nervous about it. Now, if it's so acute that you start to have a panic attack, that's obviously distress. But if it's just like, this is uncomfortable and I don't want to do this, but you do it anyway, you have experienced and exposed yourself to eustress, and it's going to make you feel the next time the same way, the same shift that you felt today. You're going to feel calmer, you're going to feel more positive, you're going to feel more present. Today's masterclass is not about not feeling stressed. It's not about avoiding stress. It is about learning how to expose yourself to situations of increasing intensity and pressure and progressively stabilizing your ability to stay centered and calm. Eustress is incredibly healthy. Working out so that you feel the burn in your muscles is eustress, assuming your form is good and that you're breathing, right? Eustress, yeah, working out, facing your fear, and doing it anyway. I'd say taking action, even when, and especially when you really don't want to, is as powerful as just about anything we've done today. So do not use mindfulness as a way to not take action. Distress is like worrying a lot, right? Whenever you're worrying, you're actually making the situation worse. All worrying is basically procrastination because you're not taking action, you're worrying. Worrying doesn't actually have a functional benefit, I have found. I have found that when you release the tension that accompanies worrying, then you're better able to take action and take control of the situation, to influence it. Okay. You heard me mention frequency, duration, and intention. So the more frequently you relax, the longer your relaxation sessions, and the more strong and acute and clear your intention is, the better that you're going to get at being able to relax. As you can imagine, releasing tension from your body is probably more than just a 10 to 15 minutes per day exercise, right? If you're not eating well, if you're going to bed late, if you're working too much, right, that tension is going to accumulate. So you want to approach this sport of being able to relax in as many different ways as possible. Get a massage, get acupuncture, work with a coach or a counselor or a therapist. Identify your goals and move towards them. Strength training, cardio, nature, vacation, stretch, drink enough water. Anything that is healthy is basically healthy because it reduces tension in your body and inflammation. I think that the concept of hell, the idea of hell, is a projection of our own internal inflammation. I think the fires of hell are happening right now inside of our bodies, and it's known as inflammation. And you can put them out and create the quote unquote heaven that does not need to wait until after this life. And then we learned about visualization and relaxation. We learned about how you can direct the power of presence and mindfulness into any particular area of your life. We learned a general practice, the body scan, the reset are the two main ones. They're a general stress reducer, and that's important. It's important to include general stress reducers. Stretching and massage are also general techniques. And then we learn specific techniques. We learn how to visualize and relax at the same time. And in a lot of schools of meditation, they talk about how there are concentration practices, which is like the general meditation, just to build equanimity. And then there are contemplative practices, insight practices, such as the visualization and body scan. And then lastly is expose your system to eustress, to healthy stress every single day. Do something that makes you acutely uncomfortable in a healthy way every day. That is at least as important as practicing mindfulness. Do it in service of something that you deeply desire to achieve or experience or make happen, but do something that makes you acutely uncomfortable. and then the next day, you're going to feel a burst of vitality and personal power in the minutes, hours, and days that follow your eustress. I remember playing the keyboard, and I hadn't gotten enough sleep or whatever the night before. This was a little while back. And I'm literally playing every note wrong. Like every single note that I could play wrong, I'm playing wrong, incorrectly. And I wanted to give up so many times. It was excruciating. And I kept going. I kept playing, and it got a little bit better, but it wasn't mind-blowingly better by the end. And then I went to sleep. And I did a little bit more practicing over the couple of days. 3 days, maybe 4 days after that experience, I was with a friend and feeling really relaxed, and I just played it, and it effortlessly came out. And he said, "You've got this down. You've got this song down. What happened?" So if you can understand the connection between getting your butt kicked by eustress, by poor performance, by having things not go well. When things are not going well, you're doing it right. You are learning correctly, because the more mistakes you are making, the more you are learning. So if you can stick with it and keep doing the activity that burns, that generates a lot of mistakes, but stay with it, it's not going to be a very long time at all until those mistakes start to become fewer and further between. So today is about presence and performance anxiety, but it's really about learning. It's about learning to develop this new skill, this platform of stability, so that you can then build applications on this human operating system. You 2.0, public speaker 2.0, money maker, father, parent, child, anything that you'd like to learn how to do better. Your body 2.0. This philosophy will help you achieve that. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
So now we have time for more questions.
We do have about 5 minutes for questions.
Great.
Where do you find the applause?
Thank you, Vivian.
Very good.
Thank you. The body scan, someone's asking, is the body scan the same as progressive muscle relaxation? The body scan is one way to practice it. Another way that it's said in the slide is you can tense your muscles and then relax, tense your muscles and relax. And the body scan is just another way to do it. Yeah, go ahead and type your questions in the chat. What else? Type them in the chat, yeah. I'll keep talking until I see questions, but basically, if we can realize that when we're upset about something, that it is not the fault of the external situation. If we can realize that it is what our brain is doing to our body that is creating our discomfort, that is creating our suffering, and then we relax it, we unwind the self-induced tension, and then we can respond in a better way, we'll realize that everything that is stressing us out is actually our greatest teacher, because it's ringing our bell until we decide to listen deeply enough to change how we respond. So someone is asking about, how do I tie my Toastmaster experiences with today's talk? Standing up on stage and talking in front of people is basically a form of personal development work. It is consciousness raising work. And it's because when we get on stage and talk, and the stakes are higher because we're carrying the room, we're carrying the situation, our bodies tense up, perhaps, probably. And yet we keep doing it. And the more that we keep doing it, the more that we relax. And this translates into us becoming better and more comfortable, and the expansion of our comfort zone in that situation and in that area of life. So if you liked how these exercises made you feel today, their impact on how you felt rather, then you're gonna love how it feels to get up on stage, feel uncomfortable during a table topic or during a speech, and then sit down. It's the same concept. It's training your body and mind to enter a deeper state of relaxation by facing the uncomfortable tension-based responses that you've been doing. Someone else is asking, Bet is asking, how many times do you have to do the exercises? Each time you do it, you get a little bit better, right? So I think it's important to say that most people would like to experience this much change and put in this much effort. And one of the biggest facts of life is that if you want to experience this much change, you must put in this much effort. So put in the time. And if your experience is similar to mine, you're going to notice that every time you put 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I feel different after 2 minutes, 1 minute now, that you're going to feel calmer. You're going to feel better after that. And don't have this, especially if you're kind of new to this philosophy of like, I'm expecting my anxiety to go away after a 10-minute exercise. That's just not going to happen. But if you can have the mentality of, I'm probably going to feel some stress or anxiety in the situation, but it's going to be reduced, and I'm going to be able to be more engaged and outward facing, then that is a win. And that's what we're looking for. 2-ingredient formula. Visualize the situation and relax. Yeah, great question there at the end. Repeating the instructions for the reset. You can close your eyes or open your eyes. You can sit or stand or lie down, and you allow your entire self to relax. You don't know what's going to relax next. All you know is that something is going to relax. Focus on what you can feel in your body. If you're not clear on how to reset still, which happens, it's quite common, then Google the body scan audio and listen to a body scan audio. You can download the Calm app, the Headspace app, and if you're going to do those, focus on the body-based audios. Focus on the audios that direct your awareness into your body. Alrighty, thank you so much, everybody. Truly a pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, John. Really loved it. I have an interview in the morning, and this was perfect. So thank you so much. Now we're going to be sending out a survey, and so please fill out the survey and send it back. It's really helpful for us all. We're part of Toastmasters and we're always improving. And stay tuned for new masterclasses. Good night, everyone.